Hello and welcome to Moneycontrol's live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Lovisha, Darad, and my colleague Yatin, Mota. Well, it looks like the record-breaking rally is unstoppable, Yatin. Sensex and Nifty have now extended their record run to 6th consecutive day. It was a monthly Nifty expiry. We expected some volatility to be there, but bulls kept the markets thumping. Sensex mounted on that 85,900 mark for the first time. It's just like 70 points away from 86,000 levels, and Nifty also touched about 26,250 levels and has now closed decisively above the 26,000 mark. Yesterday also we saw quite...
Yes, Lovisha, if you talk about the markets, as you were saying that the bull market is not ending and, all-time record levels on the markets, especially on the expiry day. We have seen a very strong, outcome, and probably all the call writers got trapped in, the trade today. But clearly, a solid, trading session with solid gains coming in for the key benchmark indices, including the Nifty Bank.
Yatin, yesterday we saw that in the first half that the trading session was a little bit of a laggard, but today buying has prevailed across the timeline. We hit record highs in the initial session also, and then once again during the intraday deals, and finished off in the last 1 hour also in a very all in all upbeat session. Even Bank Nifty, that also touched a fresh record high, and it has breached 54,450 mark for the first time. Now, experts that I spoke to, they are now putting on bets that, Bank Nifty can go up higher as above as 55,000 mark. So, all in all, we saw quite a thrilling Thursday session. But if you look at majority of the gains, they were being led by the heavyweights. We saw the likes of Maruti, Bajaj Twins, TCS, Reliance, Infosys, SBI, all of them actively participating in the market. If you look at some of the top Nifty 50 gainers, we had Maruti Suzuki. The gains came after the Suzuki Motors said that they plan to expand their dealership network in the country by 70%. We also had the likes of M&M, Bajaj Finserv, Grasim and Tata Motors featuring in the top 5 Nifty 50 gainers list. So Autopack all in all doing well. Tata Motors seeing quite a lift after UK arm Jaguar Land Rover said that they plan to spend about 500 million euros for the manufacturing of electric SUVs. But still, we'll be discussing more of that later in the segment. But if you look on the flip side, the top losers of Nifty, we saw the two pharma names dominate. That is your Cipla, Divi's Lab. And this comes after pharma indices saw 4 successive rallies. Other than that, L&T, NTPC, ONGC also featured in the list. But broader markets, they continued to see hiccups. Midcap and small cap indices continue to underperform benchmarks. So, Yatin, do you believe that the lofty valuations which were pointed out by the experts in this segment is now being realized by the market?
Absolutely, Lovisha. If you look at the mid-cap end of the market, clearly the froth is there. Valuation-wise, a lot of market strategies are not comfortable. In fact, few days back, the Jefferies report, which said that the forward valuations of mid-caps are more than 33 times, more than 5-year average valuation. So, if you look at the overall mid-cap setup, yes, things are expensive, and probably on a day of expiry when the focus is really on the benchmark indices, mid-cap usually tend to lag, and that is what exactly happened in trade today. The Nifty Midcap 100 index or the Small Cap 100 index, both of these saw flattish moves coming in. The advance decline ratio, despite the market at all-time high, was almost 1:1. So for every advance, we had one decline coming in. When it comes to the Nifty 500 gainers, stocks like Ease My Trip, which collapsed 20% yesterday, saw some bounce back. That stock was up 6.5%. Lloyd Metal, Elecon Engineering, and the metal stocks, especially the likes of Vedanta, did well in trade today. What was also doing good in trade was the likes of Blue Star, Motherson Sumi, Apollo Tyres. So the auto and auto ancillary stocks moved in trade today, especially Motherson and Apollo Tyre. Both of these stocks moved nearly 3.5%, top gaining stocks in the F&O segment, and more importantly hitting that fresh 52-week high. When it comes to the laggards, consumer stocks like Kalyan Jewelers, Crompton Consumer, all of these stocks fell by nearly 5.5% on good volumes, mind you. So the correction was deep. Also stocks like K Fintech, Concord Bio, Saregama, all of these stocks were lagging on the Nifty 500. Overall, a quiet session for the mid-cap stocks, Lavina.
Okay, yes, Yatin. But overall, we have seen a good session. We saw majority of the sectors participating and as well as ending in the green, despite an initial blip in the initial sessions. But coming to some of the stocks in focus, what actually moved the markets today? The first stock in focus is our Hero MotoCorp. It was one of the top Nifty 50 laggards in today's trading session. This came after UBS reiterated a bearish call on the stock with a sell rating. They have put out a target price of 3,350 rupees per share, which indicates a massive downside of 45%. Now, since the start of the year, Hero MotoCorp has given an impressive 50% returns. So, UBS in its report attribute this rising stock price movement due to the positive festive commentary and potential wholesale volumes increases, which might trickle in the September to October period. However, the reason why UBS gave a sell rating is because Hero Moto's volumes grew by a modest 11% in FY23 and even lower 6% in FY24, which indicates that it is lagging behind its peers. Now, the two-wheeler maker is also seeing a substantial drop in its retail market share to about 24% this month, which from 28% in August. So they kind of highlighted that the intensified competition which is going on in the two-wheeler segment is posing a threat to Hero Motors customer base. So rich valuations, heightened competitive intensity, some of the key headwinds that has been there in the Hero MotoCorp. So Yatin, rich valuations, what do we see like in the two-wheeler segment for Hero MotoCorp? Can we see an extension of this fall in the coming session as well, given that it has already delivered 50% so far this year?
So Lavina, a lot of things will depend for Hero MotoCorp in terms of new launches and their electric vehicle sales. Most importantly for Hero MotoCorp, the festive season is expected to be quite strong. Obviously, with the start of Navaratras in West India particularly, and also Dashera, where typically the auto sales take place quite evidently, and because of the good days and festivities coming in, it will be important to monitor those festive sales, and clearly that will determine whether or not the stock looks expensive or no. But yes, when it comes to historic valuations, Hero MotoCorp has seen some bit of valuation rise because of the stock price rally that we have seen. Obviously, the rural markets, good monsoons are the factors which probably can help aid earnings and margins for Hero MotoCorp. But yes, as the brokerage is mentioning, that valuations are a concern. But moving on from Hero MotoCorp to PB Fintech, that is also one stock which was in pressure today. In fact, the stock has lost nearly 10% in the last 5 trading sessions, largely due to concerns of capital allocation. Obviously, PB Fintech on a one-year basis, the stock has returned 125%. So good returns, but some bit of profit taking given the fact that the management believes that now, investments in the hospital sector could be the next big thing that they'll be watching out for. Probably the markets are concerned. Bernstein has an outperformer call on the stock with a target of 1720. However, the company talking about the backward integration with hospitals, also the healthcare business idea is not clear as of now. It seems that the management, has not fully decided on the capital allocation theme, and this is something which is concerning because investments in hospitals and backward integration probably would mean asset-heavy model, which market probably doesn't like. Hence, you saw the stock plummeting by nearly 10% in the last 5 trading sessions, especially the last 2. Today also the stock was volatile, hit a low of almost 1550. You can see it on your screens, and the high of the day was nearly 1700. So the stock remains volatile. However, Bernstein believes that high growth, strong business model and the cash generation capacity of the current business looks good, and hence they are not changing the rating. But yes, any further development on the hospital business, how they plan to enter the hospitalization sector is something that the market will be keenly watching out for. But clearly the market has given the verdict when the management has indicated that the hospital business is something that they will be wary about.
Fintech, the new age tech flavors are also gaining, quite a, favorable interest among the brokerages as well. Zomato, we can see that the uptrend was sustainable, giving about 9% returns in the past 1 month. And Nykaa, though it has underperformed, but still, new age companies have been gaining flavor in recent days in the street as well.
Correct.
So now that we discussed about earlier about Hero MotoCorp, we can also talk about Tata Motors, which held the fort. after its UK arm Jaguar Land Rover announced plans to spend about 500 million euros for making electric SUVs. Now, in the past, the company has already invested 250 million euros in its Halewood plant near Liverpool. And now with the further investment, it is aiming to make the facility JLR's first fully electric plant. Yatin, we saw that, earlier UBS had come out with a sell rating on Tata Motors, and it continues to sell below that 1,000 rupees mark. So, does this mean that we can see certain recovery that, given that JLR is planning to ramp up its activity towards the electric transition of vehicles?
I think a big part of re-rating for Tata Motors already happened. If you look at Tata Motors, the stock has appreciated, significantly in the last 2 financial years. But talking about the short term, UBS and other brokerages who are having a sell rating on the stock clearly are concerned about slowing demand in regions like China. Also, the electric vehicle portfolio is fully, not on the roads, given the fact that the competition is heating up there. And we have JLR, which is not big products in the electric space. So that is one space which they are lagging about. But what the market likes is probably the free cash flow generation, which the management expects to pick up in the next 2 financial years, coupled with the investments that they are trying to do. With healthy order books, I think the earnings for the next couple of quarters will be strong. But yes, the market probably is sensing that there could be a slowdown in Europe or China, which might affect luxury car sales, especially for Jaguar Land Rover.
Okay. Yesterday also, Tata Motors has launched 2 new versions of Nexon. One was your CNG model, which was priced about 9 lakh rupees onwards, and another was its electric variant, which was priced about 14 lakh onwards. So with these launches, Tata is saying that, the Nexon is the only car available in the country with 4 distinct power trains as well. So that is all coming in from Tata Motors. But the next stock in focus is another Tata Group company itself, and that is Trent. Now, Trent ended the day about with 3% gains after Citi initiated a coverage on the stock with a buy recommendation. They suggest that there are robust growth triggers ahead, and they have pointed out and put out a target price of 9,250 rupees per share, wherein analysts have indicated an upside potential of over 21%. Now, the company is already leveraging its supply chain and insights from Westside, Zudio, turning around its Star Bazaar business as well. But Citi also believes that Trent is well positioned to scale up its other pilot projects, which includes Mizbu, Samo, and its joint venture with MAS. So, like Trent, on the charts also, it has more than doubled investors' wealth so far this year. And in the first quarter also, they have posted a stellar performance, beating street estimates. So, can there be more legs of an up move? Yatin, this stock has been quite the darling of the street this year as well.
Yeah. Lavina, it's very difficult to say whether or not the kind of phenomenal returns that we saw in Trent could be seen in the future, because the valuations are rich. However, the stock continues to surprise the analysts as well as the investor community with strong results. Remember, tomorrow we have the all-important Nifty rebalancing. Nifty Bank Nifty and CPSC indices get rebalanced tomorrow at 3 p.m. for the last half an hour or so. And the best part about Trent is Citi has initiated the coverage today, and tomorrow we have the all-important Nifty 50 rebalancing, in which Trent will be a part of Nifty 50. Probably you could see some good inflows. According to Nuama, the buying could be as large as 4,000, 5,000 crores tomorrow in rupee terms. So that is something that we'll be watching out for. But the kind of performance that Trent has been able to give, especially with the Zudio brand, has been phenomenal.
Okay, that is coming in for Trent. But of course, given that we have seen such a stellar performance in Trent, let's see whether or not it will see an up move in the further upcoming sessions as well. But on that note, we have come to we have covered the stocks in focus area. We'll see whether or not tomorrow how the market up move continues, whether or not we can see a further extension of a bull run. We'll see whether or not the week would be a stellar one for the Nifty and Sensex as well. So let's see how it plays out. But on that note, we come to an end of the segment. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned to Moneycontrol.com for more news updates and insights.